Today I've got quite the interesting story for you. Kind of weird and embarrassing, but it answers the question, can you get a Charlie horse in your tongue? Stay tuned. My name is Charlotte, and you're watching Burst TV. Picture this. I'm driving down the interstate with a close friend, and we are really fighting to stay awake. We have at least 5 hours to go on this leg of the road trip, and our strategy for getting hyped? Windows down, music up, and of course random weird dares and challenges. So this round, it was let's see who can hit the highest note and scream the loudest. A combination of both. So there we are, screaming as high-pitched and loud as we possibly could. Oh yeah, and we were hitting those high notes like there's no tomorrow. And then suddenly, one of the worst pains I've ever experienced outside of childbirth in my life at the very base of my tongue. It started to spasm. I didn't even know that was possible. I literally could not speak for the rest of the trip. Couldn't even explain what was happening because I couldn't talk. You really need your tongue to talk. So there I was in tears, laughing so hard, both of us start crying maniacally. I had actually pulled my tongue muscle, and I will never forget it. So it got me thinking, our tongue is a muscular organ with a very complex arrangement of muscle fibers. It's not there just to help us enjoy our favorite food, although that's amazing. It's essential for speech, eating, and swallowing. And like any other muscle, it can be overstretched or injured. So how do people usually strain their tongue? Yawning is a surprisingly common way to get a tongue cramp, but there are other ways too. Forceful or rapid movements, like when you're speaking too vigorously, singing too loud, yelling. I actually do remember hearing about a lady pulling her tongue muscle when she was trying to tie a cherry stem into a knot. How many of you have tried that? Trauma is another reason. You can accidentally bite or hit your tongue, maybe even during, let's say, a sporting event. Unusual or prolonged use, think of activities that your tongue's not normally used to, like you're a new musician playing a certain wind instrument, or extended periods of speaking or singing. Now I'm wondering if this has ever happened to T. Swift or Mariah Carey. And there's also something called acute glossitis. This type of inflammation usually stems from an allergic reaction, a lot of times to foods. But back of the tongue strains, they're pretty rare because our tongues are strong and they're very used to constant activity. However, any overexertion or overuse can still lead to a strain, just like any other muscle and any other body part. Occasionally, you might experience tongue cramps without a clear reason. Spasms are caused by muscle fatigue, dehydration, or an electrolyte imbalance, and can go away on their own in seconds, or they can last up to 15 minutes or more. So if your tongue spasms are severe or happen frequently, you might have something called lingual dystonia, tetanitis, or a motor neuron disorder. Now, those are definitely more serious situations, and I'm really not able to give advice on those, but if you have a muscle spasm of any kind on a regular basis, please do see your physician. So what should you do if you're straining your tongue? Well, if you get a cramp, usually you want to stop what you're doing, breathe, and try to relax. And then stretch your tongue out if possible, similar to what you would do if you got a Charlie horse in an arm or a leg. Then consider taking ibuprofen or another over-the-counter pain medication to help relieve discomfort and swelling. And then rest really is key. This might mean taking a break from talking for a while or avoiding tough or chewy foods for a couple days. And there you have it, folks, a little insight into our often overlooked tongue muscles. Remember, it's very rare to strain your tongue, but it's always good to be mindful of how much work we're putting them through. But I don't want to feel alone here. Please leave a comment if you've ever pulled your tongue muscle. Stay tuned for more fun facts and tips here on Burst TV every Thursday. Keep smiling, and we'll see you next time.